Native Americans in the United States. In 1960, the National Census Bureau in the United States began to use self-identification to ascertain an individual's race and ethnicity. In the 30-year period between 1960 and 1990, the number of people identifying themselves as Amerindians grew from 5,24,000 to 1878,000, a growth rate from exceeding anything that could be attributed to natural increase alone. It appears that at least half of this increase, perhaps more, was due to people changing their ethnic identifications. The reason for this has much to do with government policies that have accorded legal status to Native Americans and the material advantages such descent might confer. Tribal businesses for some groups are thriving. Government transfer payments are often earmarked for the members of tribal groups, and private foundations especially target Native Americans for support and services. Some Native American groups have had to adopt strict criteria for a tribal affiliation so they will not be swamped by new members, but a great deal of the rise in the numbers of people identifying themselves as Native Americans has to do with the way personal identities are tied up with larger public narratives, in sharp contrast to the situation 40 years ago when Amerindians were almost inevitably depicted in film, television, and in popular print as bloodthirsty savages. They are now portrayed as sympathetic, even romantic light. With over 7 million people today in the United States reporting some degree of Native American ancestry, the numbers of Native Americans in future censuses will most likely continue to increase at a very high rate. It is unusual for someone to disguise their origins in contexts when that identity is a liability, and being non-Muslim in Indonesia can be a distinct liability, but a more subtle process may also be at work. For one thing, we can see that ethnic boundaries are often a good deal more permeable than they seem to be. People may move back and forth across them with a surprising degree of ease. For another, ethnic boundaries are less permanent than they often appear, as the differences of religion, custom, language that created the distinction between Duogongo and Bimanis begin to disappear. It seems likely that the boundary may be substantially renegotiated, if not disappear altogether. And of course, to most Indonesians outside the local context of Bimanis Duogongo ethnicity, the two are indistinguishable. The very malleability and permeability of the form and content of ethnic distinctions are what makes ethnicity both needlessly fascinating with conceptually slippery. While categories of caste and ethnicity are often used to rank the members of society and limit or ease their chances in life, race goes much farther by dividing the entire human species into a number of categories that ideologically associated with variable degree of intelligence, beauty, capacity for ethical behavior, and other characteristics.